Wrestling fans, the 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive explodes into Christmas with 12 featured superstar guests. We can't bring you a live wrestling event due to COVID restrictions, but we'll be bringing you a series of cyber signings and meet and greets. On Friday night, December the 4th, fans around the corner and around the world can join a man involved in an intercontinental title scandal as Savio Vega, as well as the man under the mask, is martial arts expert Quang, joins us for a live cyber autograph signing here at MWF Studios. Get a personalized autograph photo from Savio, signed live on the air and mailed to your home. Join us now through mid-December as the superstars help us continue our mission to update Santa Claus's GPS to find every kid's house this Christmas and put smiles on faces while honoring Paul Bearer's memory. VIP packages are still available. Don't worry, if you've missed a live superstar signing, every star is signing enough photos while they're here in Boston to fill VIP packages through December the 19th. Whether for your wrestling collection or to give as a holiday gift, if you're going to take part in any toy drive this year, please help our 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive. Visit BostonWrestling.com and our social media platforms for complete event and toy drive information.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, welcome to a bonus edition of Wrestling Insiders as we review the Monday, November the 23rd, 2020 edition of WWE Monday Night Raw under the Thunderdome at the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida. One of the final Raws coming from the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida, before Raw moves west over to Tampa, as we encourage all of our great friends to join us live via social media. Let's get some of the damage out of the way, give you some of the news we got going on here in the world of Boston wrestling, because it was a long weekend. Let me tell you, a long weekend with our dear friend Marty Jannetty. At the top of the hour, 10 p.m., we kick off our Wrestling Insiders interview week with WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. USA, Tony Atlas. He shoots with his thoughts on Herberto Del Rio. Tomorrow night, 10 p.m., we have recent WWE NXT Cruiserweight Champion and star of MTV's The Challenge 36, Lio Rush. Lio discusses wrestling on the independents, his tenure in Ring of Honor, and some of his frustrations at the end of his time in NXT before he was released. Thanksgiving night, oh my dear Lord, Marty Jannetty's no-holds-barred sex, drugs, and rock and roll look at the 80s and 90s continues. With a Jake the Snake Roberts Road story not suitable for the kids, as well as remembering the late, great road warrior animal, Joe Laurinaitis. Then, Friday night after the Thunderdome goes dark in Orlando, John Cena Sr. is back for another Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Friday. In addition to that, on Thanksgiving Eve, after Leo's episode, we're going to have a lot of fun. As you know, I sometimes am not the biggest fan of professional wrestling in 2020. Well, what we're going to do is, along with you, hopefully, tune up WWE Network, and we're going to have a 1987 WWF Survivor Series watch-along. It's a lot of fun. We go back in time, look at the superstars, the matches, the angles, what was going on in the world of wrestling at that time. It's kind of a really unique look at 1987, which I think is one of the great years in WWF history. That will take place approximately 11 o'clock Wednesday night after Wrestling Insiders Rush Hour with my buddy Lio Rush. We all need a break now and then. And don't forget, on Thanksgiving morning, 10 a.m., myself, Tony Atlas, and John Cena Sr. have a special Thanksgiving episode for you. The majority of the content I just mentioned, folks, as usual, it is available over on the Patreon, patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. You can find the link in the description box below on YouTube, where for the price of a cup of coffee over at Starbucks or some higher-end goods now at the supermarket that the holiday goodies are out, you can help keep professional wrestling legends working. You can get early ad-free access to all of our Wrestling Insider talk shows. You get access to the complete Studio Shoot Interview DVD library that we continue to update with some of the classics that we have to digitize. Again, all for a couple of bucks a month. You get to help keep the wrestling legends working. Someone is so excited, they're calling us right now to try and get more information on it. Sunday night during Survivor Series, was it The Undertaker's final farewell? I don't know. I'd like to think that there would be an official retirement match for the man. I know I watered up when Paul Bearer, his image was shown on screen. I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was a great touch by WWE. That's one man's opinion. As we mentioned, Paul Bearer, VIP packages for the 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive Cyber Fanfest are flying. If you missed the appearances we've already had with Leo Rush, Tony Atlas, and Marty Jannetty, don't worry. Go to BostonWrestling.com. You can actually rewatch the live interviews we had with those gentlemen, and autograph photos from them are still available. If you go with a VIP package, not only are there autograph photos included, but you also get an autograph poster signed by everybody involved in this year's toy drive. And let me tell you, folks, it is stacking up as the roster continues to build and build. I know John Cena Sr. is working the phones on the North Pole with some friends that he wants to have come in. We take a break with live appearances for Thanksgiving weekend, but let me run through them real quick. On Friday, December the 4th, we're going to be joined by a man that was at Survivor Series during the Undertaker's ceremony, Savio Vega, a.k.a. the martial arts expert Quang. On Saturday, December the 5th, things are going to get a little nasty here at MWF Studio as Brian Knobbs, Jerry Sags, the Nasty Boys join us here for the very first time. Really, really looking forward to that one. On Sunday, December the 6th, during NXT TakeOver War Games, the Hall of Famer, Mr. USA Tony Atlas, returns, hosting a cyber Christmas party, along with an autograph signing and having his art available. Following Friday, December the 11th, we're going to have the massive Warlord with us live in studio. Saturday, December the 12th, the man that had a nearly 2-year undefeated streak in WWF, we're talking about the Native American Tatanka. We have a doubleheader of future stars on Sunday, December the 13th. It'll be the new Impact Wrestling World Champion joining us for the first time since 2012. I'm talking about Rich Swann. Then, a young athlete that competed in the Ring of Honor Pure Title Tournament, Wheeler Yuta, who we've seen here in Boston Wrestling MWF. If John Cena Sr. adds anyone to the list, we'll include him to the VIP at no cost because we're just that kind of people. More important, because behind all of these live interviews, all of these interactive virtual autograph signings, again, is to update Santa Claus's GPS so we can create smiles, find every kid's home, and honor the memory of Paul Bearer. I don't know if we could do a better job than WWE did this weekend. Again, that's one man's interpretation. Again, as we prepare to run down the results, news, and views from Raw last night, the numbers for us are in from October, and you find, folks, as I've noted, you broke records 2 months in a row on our YouTube channel. November, it's not looking as good, so we really do need some help here, as I've mentioned to some of our great regular fans privately. But from the bottom of our hearts, thank you a million times over. We put forth a lot of hard work, a tremendous effort to keep the lights on. This weekend alone, if we didn't have the help of Mr. Sacco himself, Matt Degnan that'll be joining us, Gabe Bonzone, Howard Miller, Cecil the Lion, the Puppet, even Chairman Neil Manolian made a very, very rare appearance here at MWF Studios. So without those folks trying to help make these endeavors a reality, we can't do it. And I forgot about DB, who even chipped in on to help with one of the airport runs. So again, a lot of people working behind the scenes to make these things happen. I know my face and my voice is attached to a lot of it, but without those other folks, we wouldn't have much going on. 3 simple ways you can help us big time without it costing you a penny. As I note, number 1, share the links to our videos on your social media. Text them, email them, yell them out the window if you have to. You know, try and stay 6 feet away from everybody. But I just noticed recently, to show how up-to-date I am with technology, but there is a share button on the actual YouTube page that goes to, I think, Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, and all these great different platforms that you may use. I believe there are millions of wrestling fans that have no idea we exist. I am very humble when it comes to that, but I'm also honest that I believe that as these great wrestling fans continue to find us, they're going to love what we do, and we're going to be able to grow and grow and grow. Right now, we have 4 weekly Wrestling Insider in-studio shoot interview talk shows. What if we could get it up to 7 in 2021? What if we continue to grow so much? What if we could have 2 superstars on a night? Imagine the difference it would make in these superstars' lives. Again, especially right now, there are no independent wrestling shows, or virtually none for them to wrestle on. There's very little in the way of personal appearances and autograph sessions and fan fests. Let's do everything we can to try and lend a helping hand to these superstars that gave so much to us. Think of what you're getting in return. Think of the great wrestling talk, an escape from the wrestling presentations of 2020 that a lot of us don't like, or those that want to relive the good old days. So there's a lot of great things we can do by simply sharing. Again, you can also hit the thumbs up button. The more people that show this and all of our videos love, the more love YouTube shows to us in suggesting videos to other fans. That's another important way in how we grow the show. And third, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. It provides you with updates on all the new videos and access to well over 2,000 free videos. As always, we're interested in your thoughts on Raw, giving us a rating anywhere from 1 to 10. 1, you thought it was horrible. 10, you thought it was great. We're hoping the whole gang is joining us on this holiday week Tuesday. We're talking about my buddy in his brand new home, Slick Rick B. We're talking about my good friend who goes by many aliases. Miss Tina. The Pittsburgh Steelers' favorite girl, Maria Davis, all of the great Kevins, our new friend Vaughn, Big Ant from Thunder Valley, Will Cortez, Ken, Larson when he pops in and out. No, I don't know what's going on with Larson, but we have a lot of fun hanging out during our live premieres on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. And then when we go with the Tony Atlas premiere at 10 o'clock. So you get a double feature, a creature feature, double feature on Tuesday night with us. Again, with the holidays coming up, it's never too early to start shopping in our eBay store. The link is in the description box below. We have dozens and dozens of great, rare autograph wrestling memorabilia for sale. Every purchase on eBay includes a video shout-out thank you from WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas on Wrestling Insiders. That's pretty cool. Not only do you get the great merchandise, but on air, something you can watch and relive again and again if you like. You get a shout-out from us. Tony might be having chicken wings. I don't know, but the attempt is there from him to say thank you. Finally, again, we have the really, what I consider to be a really cool WWE T-shirt bundle fundraiser going on at bostonwrestling.com/shirts.html. If you could not remember what I just said, the description, the link, I should say, is in the description box below. For the regular price of a T-shirt on WWE Shop, you get the T-shirt, but you also get a WWE cup. You get a mystery autograph photo, and again, you also get that on-air thank you from Tony Atlas for helping us keep him working and all the other great legends working. We've got brand new shirts of superstars like Bray Wyatt, the Undisputed Era, Roman Reigns. We got your legends like Stone Cold Steve Austin, Macho Man Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan, and more. We're working on another initiative for a couple of featured superstars for the holidays, so keep your eyes open on that. Help the show keep going and get yourself some new swag. With that said, let's welcome in the man whose feet know the socks like I know 80s wrestling, Mr. Matt Degnan. Unbelievable. Matt, what a weekend we had here at MWF Studios as we explode into December like your feet explode into those socks with the 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive. A lot of results, I guess, a lot of views, a lot of news coming out of the November 23rd, 2020 edition of Monday Night Raw. I pass the baton to you after I get the cheap plugs and all that jazz out of the way. I'm not a very happy camper over at Shaw's today. I was yelled at by Cecil the Lion. Thurman Merman overpacked my goods, and they ripped out of the bag all over Essex Street in Melrose as the puppet was mailing signed pictures from the toy drive at the post office. So it was very interesting. On top of that, as I was putting my bag of goods together, who walked by but the man that Marty Jannetty referred to as the French douchebag on Facebook. So it was a very I felt like Alice in Wonderland for the Disturbed. It was in a unique couple of minutes there, but such is my life.
Did Cecil roar?
He did. He did. He was not happy about the comments about his blonde hair. And for those that need to see Cecil rage, Thursday morning at 10 a.m., what a way to kick off Thanksgiving. It is going to be the Tony Atlas and John Cena Sr. Thanksgiving special, where I don't want to ruin it for anyone, but Cecil apparently didn't realize the cameras were on. And, well, we'll take it from there. I think you know the rest of the story there, Mr. Degnan.
I know. There's
a little Thanksgiving roaring going on. So at 10 a.m., you have the Thanksgiving special, and then at 10 p.m., we party with Marty like only Marty can on Thanksgiving as he talks a road story that may not be suitable for the kids about how Jake Snake had a feast in a hotel room, and we remember the late, great Road Warrior Animals. So quite a contrast of topics on Party with Marty Thanksgiving night.
As there always is.
Did you find the man's jacket?
No, Angelo and I looked, and we couldn't find it.
Well, it would have been a shame if Angelo, sneezed on it or something, and then Marty got COVID on his free coat.
I think he's got more to worry than that.
No, well, he is a man with many worries. All right, let's run down Monday Night Raw. What do you got for me, brother?
Raw kicked off in the Thunderdome with Adam Pearce and Team Raw in the ring after their victory the night before against Team SmackDown at Survivor Series.
It was a
Pearce
good one.
said the team will be rewarded for winning at Survivor Series, and they're going to have the opportunity to have a shot at the WWE title. The men went back and forth over who would get the title shot against Drew McIntyre. It got so heated to the point that Braun Strowman put his hands on Adam Pearce and hit him after Adam made him talk last. Strowman has now been suspended indefinitely, so we'll see what happens with him. The thing that I didn't get was right when Strowman hit him, they went right to commercial 8 minutes into the show, and then they came back from commercial to recap the segment that happened 3 minutes before.
Just in case you tuned in late.
Yeah, just in case you tuned in 3 minutes late as they went to commercial 8 minutes into the show. I really didn't get it, and then they came back from commercial and had to recap the segment that we just saw right before. Not an hour after, not a half hour after, 3 minutes before, which I really didn't understand. What did you think of the opening segment?
Well, what I thought, what got me more than anything was Byron Saxton saying it was one of the most heinous attacks he's ever seen. And I was going to say to myself, was this the first time he's ever watched the show? But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? No, it wasn't much to write home about. At least it made it seem like winning the match had some importance and some value to it. Where Adam Pearce is kind of a quote-unquote WWE official for both shows, I don't know if he should have been the man to try and organize and structure this championship platform for the next shot at Drew McIntyre. But again, that's one man's opinion.
Well, we'll find out. The next match, the New Day defeated the Hurt Business via roll-up to retain their Raw Tag Team titles. Another good match from these guys, but as I said last week, these two teams will be facing each other every single week for months. So they can put on good matches all they want, but I think people are going to get bored very, very quick. This match and segment before it involving both teams took up about a half hour after we just saw the same exact thing last week. These two teams just faced each other last Monday, and they did a whole nother half hour on these two teams just a week after. And they wonder why no one really watches or cares. But
well, it was almost two matches for the price of one. You had the count-out loss in the first version of the match last night.
Yeah, they did that count-out, and then they restarted it. And that's what I'm saying. It took up way too much time after we saw it just last week, and it's boring, you know?
What other tag teams are there on Raw for the New Day to compete with?
Maybe me and you, I don't know, but
I can't think of too many off the top of my head, as in zero. Maybe Retribution.
Retribution. I really can't think of any other. I think they're the only two real tag teams on Raw.
Well, maybe Retribution will get a shot at the gold.
Oh, boy. Yeah, after they've lost every week for months. What did you think of this match?
That was very good. You know, if you're going to present something week after week after week after week, I'd rather it be good than not good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been surprised if they went the route of the title change last night, where New Day was already hurting from their championship encounter the night before. The Hurt Business kind of bullied New Day into the title match, but it was not meant to be on that night, at least. At least Hurt Business can now come back next week and say, well, you know what? We did win the first part via countout. We're owed yet another match. Is how I envision it going. But again, it's one man's perspective.
Yep. Adam Pearce, he then announced 3 singles matches that will lead to a triple threat match next week, which will then lead to a shot at the WWE title. A lot of moving parts, which WWE loves to do. He tried to get the announcement off. He tried to get his thoughts across, and he just kept getting interrupted by people. Bobby Lashley, Randy Orton. He had too many people coming up to him. He finally got the words out of his mouth after coming out of the trainer's room, and he made the big announcement. Well, we'll see the results.
Everybody wanted to talk to Adam. It was almost like you Sunday Night Live during Survivor Series, during the live edition of Party with Marty, the virtual autograph signing and interview. Everybody wanted to talk to the Sox.
Yeah, the stock is rising. The next match, Riddle defeated Sheamus via roll-up to advance to the triple threat match next week to compete for a future WWE title shot. I thought it was a fun physical matchup between two tough men that actually looked like they were kicking each other's ass. You know, you don't see that too much in WWE nowadays, and I thought it was a good matchup. What did you think?
No, I actually thought it was one of Riddle's better matches. Sheamus didn't look that bad. I thought it was a good showing for both of them. You'd think you'd see more heels than baby faces in these competitions go over with a babyface champion, but who knows what twists and turns this may take. The right man won, if nothing else. I would have been a little hot under the collar to see a younger star on the rise like Riddle lay down for Sheamus, who was closer to the end than the beginning.
It's on the rise like a Viagra.
Exactly.
The next segment, the Firefly Funhouse with Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss. The only thing I thought of was I didn't think these segments could get worse until last night. They did some bullshit with a frog, and then they killed the frog with, I don't know if it was a hammer or an axe or what. It's another thing that just needs to be done away with, but I'm sure they'll be doing it for months ahead until they end this storyline, which I don't even know how they're going to do it unless they do a Bray Wyatt versus Alexa Bliss matchup. I already know your thoughts on this, but what
I hate the Firefly Funhouse. I think every time it's on, it devalues Bray. Now to have Alexa running around with the mentality of Thurman Merriman like she's 6 years old, I don't see the value in it. I don't see the entertainment in it. I don't see much in it other than every time it's on, I wish it would end.
That's one of the many ways to put it. Asuka versus Lana for the Raw Women's title ended in a no contest after Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler got involved while they were on commentary for the match. The match lasted just about 2 to 3 minutes before it ended. It's just a complete waste of time and a title match that never really meant anything.
Well, that was fine considering who Asuka was in there with, but...
Yeah. No, but I get the matchup. Nobody really wanted to see it, but I mean, 2 to 3 minutes, it's just an insult at that point. As Asuka was being attacked by Jax and Baszler, Lana helped her, and they both escaped the women's tag team champions. This then, of course, turned into a tag team match after the commercial break, after Shayna challenged the duo of Lana and Asuka before they went to commercial break, and then suddenly the match was made official while we were watching the commercials with Papa John's during the break.
Busy night for Adam Pearce.
He was all over he better get a pay raise. What did you think of this complete mess.
I was glad it ended. I was glad the singles match was as short as it was, and at least the tag team match, I was distracted with things on the computer. It was not very good. It was nothing I'd want to see again. I don't know why there is a women's tag team division when there's no tag teams in it, but, you know,
And
why would you ever look at have a thought like that, to actually have a division with tag teams in it, to have tag team champions? But it's the little things in life, I guess.
And then the match itself, Asuka and Lana defeated Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Who could have guessed? Another roll-up victory. That seemed to be the theme of the night. I'll talk about it more later on. Don't want to get too into it now, as we'll get more results later in the show. What did you think of the tag team match itself?
Yeah, you could pretty much say it sucked if you wanted to be honest, but you could be a little bit more PC where it's a holiday weekend and just say it wasn't very good.
The next match, Keith Lee defeated Bobby Lashley via disqualification after MVP attacked Lee during the match to help him advance to the triple threat match next Monday for a shot at the WWE title. It was a solid match until they had to do yet another bullshit finish of the night. A thought I had was, why have Riddle win via roll-up and Lee win via disqualification to qualify for a number one contenders match? I guess nobody can get over or prove themselves for a shot at the title anymore.
The lack of thinking in this one just really blew me away. It was a non-title match, so Lashley's U.S. title wasn't on the line. Why would MVP interfere and try and cost Lashley the match, guaranteeing that he'd lose?
The way that
Lee would go on to the championship triple threat next week.
The way that they said it on commentary was that MVP was saving Bobby Lashley from any more torture or hurting to save his client, whatever.
Keith Lee looks worse and worse by the week. I don't know what it is for a guy that had so much momentum last year when he was involved at Survivor Series, and this year earlier in Houston in January when he was involved in the Royal Rumble, and there was so much interest in seeing him. Now that he's on television each week, I think there's less and less interest in seeing him. My opinion.
Remember the reaction he got at the Royal Rumble in Houston while we were there? He got one of the better pops of the night.
You got to remember, people are always going to react big to surprises. That's just the nature of the beast in wrestling. But now that he's quote-unquote exposed week after week after week after week on mainstream WWE television, I don't know if it's the promos. I don't know if it's the ring gear. He looked very, very slow last night.
It looks like, I don't want to say anything rude. We can move on. The next match, Alexa Bliss defeated Nikki Cross. I literally have no notes. I don't want to bash anybody, but the thing that they're doing with this Alexa Bliss crap, where she's now wearing in the ring what she's wearing in that Funhouse crap, it's not working. We kill them every week. You can add the Firefly Funhouse with Orange Cassidy, the things that we just obliterate every week. What did you think of this match? I'm glad
it's almost as bad as that. It's getting to that level. I just don't understand why you take someone with the presence and the charisma of Alexa Bliss. While she might not be the athlete that Asuka or Charlotte Flair is, she's still, one of the better presentations of the females on the shows, and now to dress her up as if she's 5 years old and acting like either a kindergarten girl or possessed, depending upon whether she's around Bray Wyatt or not. I don't know what more I can add to it other than I can't think of what human being is actually interested in seeing it.
Well, maybe we have to do a survey of our fans right now.
You have to ask Maria Davis and see what she and the Pittsburgh Steelers think of it.
I don't know, but I really do want to hear from the fans right now in the live chat if they're watching the premiere right now. What do you guys think of this Alexa Bliss and Bray Wyatt storyline? Do you guys like it? Do you think it's interesting? Do you think it's dumb like we do? What are your thoughts? I like hearing what other people think about it. As we shift into the main event now, AJ Styles defeated Randy Orton to advance to the triple threat match next week. Styles had help from The Fiend as he distracted Randy enough for AJ to hit the phenomenal forearm. Next week, it'll be AJ Styles versus Riddle versus Keith Lee for a title shot against Drew McIntyre down the line. I thought what was funny about it, was they actually caught the Fiend jumping over the barricade. I don't know. Did you see that?
Yes.
They had a camera shot. For the people that didn't watch and are getting the info from us, the camera was in the corner and it was showing the back end kind of near the announce table. And the camera shot actually got the Fiend jumping over the barricade to do the run-in about 10 seconds later in the match. And I thought it was kind of funny. But usually they're good at that type of stuff with the camera angles and the production of it. So this is one of the few mess-ups they usually do in the production side of it. Some thoughts here about the show itself. It was the one match ended clean tonight, and that was the Cross and Bliss match that no one really cared about. Too many disqualifications, too many roll-ups for one night, and they happen all the time in WWE. It's just every match last night ended in a disqualification, like the Lee and Lashley match. Almost every match other than that was a roll-up, or it was a distraction, like the Fiend distracting Randy Orton. And it's just, how does anybody get over in today's WWE? Too many 50-50 booking matches, disqualifications, distractions, roll-ups, just no storyline continuity at all. It's just, I don't know how you're supposed to get people over in today's WWE and make future stars. Well, what did you think of the main event and the...
I like the fact they referenced that the two of them had wrestled at a WrestleMania before. I thought that added a little bit of credibility to what they were trying to present as the main event of the show. The match wasn't bad. It was just, as usual, a lot of interference and things that had nothing to do with the match going on. And it leads to a triple threat match that I don't know how much interest is going to be in that.
Well, we'll find out next Monday in the Thunderdome. I believe, no, they have, this will be the second to last Raw in the Thunderdome. So, got two more.
No, I think that's it.
No, they're out the December 11th, I believe.
Well, it really doesn't make much of a difference, but I'm pretty sure next week is it from what someone was saying that was involved with Survivor Series.
Because I think they have to be at, whatever it is. I thought the date was the 11th, but we'll find out. We'll go into our grades now for Raw last night. I think I'm still being generous, and I gave it a 3 out of 10. Good wrestling, but awful endings to matches. Too much bullshit with the women going on, awful promos, and the main thing that I said was, where was your WWE champion, Drew McIntyre? I don't know if he was selling the loss to Roman Reigns, what it was, but I don't know how you don't have your WWE champion, not the go-home show, the night after Survivor Series, your big Fallout show, and he didn't make one appearance. I
thought it was great that he wasn't on. One of my pet peeves, and I think part of the reason why the fans have no genuine quote-unquote need to watch the show week in and week out, is they know that everybody that isn't injured is going to be on every week. I think it's great that he wasn't on.
I mean, when you already don't have enough people to fill a 3-hour show,
well,
and you take your champion out, basically your top guy, probably the second biggest guy in the company right now, second to Roman Reigns, and he's not on the show. I mean, it's not the end-all be-all for the show. It didn't kill it, but too much time filling shit.
Would it have added anything if he was there just to do another interview?
No, I'm not saying it would have added a lot. I'm just saying that, not having your champion the night after. I mean, he lost last night, so I mean, I get maybe not having him there, but they never explained why he wasn't there. Was he? I would have much rather had them say, Drew McIntyre's a little banged up tonight, from his match last night with Roman Reigns, so he's going to take tonight off or something like that.
I think, in my educated opinion, they're probably just going to want you to forget that he lost to Roman on Sunday, because I don't see that program going any further where they're on different shows.
I just would have liked a little explanation why your WWE champion wasn't on the show, but believe it or not, that wasn't the worst thing last night. So I gave it a 3 out of 10. I probably could have gone down to a 2 with how bad last night was. The wrestling itself was fine. It's just when you do all these just awful endings to matches, and just wasn't for me yet again last night on Monday. What did you think?
I gave it a 4 out of 10, just based upon the past, outside of the Alexa Bliss nonsense, there was really nothing that was too bad about it. It was just there wasn't, again, anything that stood out as, oh, I have to tune in and watch next week. I have to watch next week.
Alexa, stop.
Oh, every time you mention the woman's name, your little Alexa device goes off in the background.
She does the run-in every time.
Does the run-in every time. Well, too bad she wasn't in the Thunderdome last night to put an end to what was going on in the ring. No, I mean, but there were a lot of missing faces. I don't think we saw any Retribution last night. There was no Ricochet. There was, so a few talents maybe got the night off.
I don't know. But
it's just the big mistake of 2020 in very uncertain times, for certain, were the amount of talents they get rid of back in the springtime. If nothing else, just to keep the shows a little fresher with the variety of bodies compared to just the same people week in and week out. As noted, sometimes you see them in 1 or 2 matches a week or 1 or 2 interview segments a week, and it's too much. What is the reason to make someone want to tune in or feel like they have to tune in or they're going to miss something good if they see the same people not only week after week, but sometimes multiple times in the same episode? I don't have the answer to that question other than the fact I think the ratings are giving us the answer.
Yeah.
There is no great urgency to tune into a WWE show.
No. It almost feels like a chore when you watch it, you know?
Yeah, it really does.
I have to watch it after it's done just so I can fast forward through the commercials because I don't want to sit through the full 3 hours. I get it done in about an hour and a half to 2 hours, you know?
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It really feels like it's just grueling sitting through it, you know? I can't imagine people watching it live from 8 to 11 or wherever they're watching it from, but...
Well, you know, the thing is, there are some kids out there and there are some people that never lived through different eras of wrestling. They probably think this is the greatest thing they've ever seen because they don't know of a different version of a wrestling presentation. There were probably people that thought that about me in the 80s with what I was watching, thinking it was great, and they said, oh, if that kid could have saw Boston Garden live events in the 70s, he really would have seen something good. So they always have that going for them.
Yeah, it's always different perspective. It's like when people get into those arguments of who's the better football player, this person back in the 80s or this person in the 2010s, whatever it is. It's just one of those things that people have different ideas of, oh, this era is good, this era is bad, and it's just, and it comes down to the wrestlers too sometimes. Oh, I like Hulk Hogan. I thought Stone Cold was better, or whatever it is. You know, there's always going to be different views, which is fine, but it's what makes it fun. One little news and notes here for the Raw side of things. There's some talk that the main event of TLC, I don't know how this is going to be worked out, but it's expected to be Drew McIntyre versus Braun Strowman for the WWE.
I think that we certainly don't see a conclusion to any of this with that triple threat next week.
But that's the talk right now going on, is that Braun Strowman's going to face Drew McIntyre, which it kind of seems like they're setting that up the way they're doing this shit with Braun. Oh, he's suspended. You know he's coming back next week to mess something up. And he'll say, if I'm not put in the match, I'm going to destroy backstage or something like that. Or whatever. He's going to do something to weasel his way into that match, make it a fatal 4-way. Or they're going to have the match go clean, and then Braun Strowman's going to challenge the winner of that to state, I was never given a shot to be in the match, so I'm going to face the winner or something like that. But the way they're going right now, it looks like Braun Strowman's going to be getting a title shot. Do you want to guess the viewership for last night?
The night after Survivor Series, I'll go with 1-9.
1,810,000.
I continue to amaze myself at how I can usually get it within that 100,000 people. I don't think that's necessarily a good thing, but again, it is what it is.
It's not like it used to be.
No.
And they still continue to not call us, but I don't know what we can do about that.
It's coming, at least for me. I don't know.
We'll see, but I don't. We finished this one pretty quick. I mean,
I know usually we're worried about overlapping with Mr. USA Tony Atlas at 10 p.m., but this one was very quick tonight. We can only implore the fans to head on over to BostonWrestling.com, take part in the 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive Cyber Fanfest as we explode into the month of December. It is a happening, to say the least.
Like Lanny.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know what else to add to this Raw last night.
Well, you know what? Then that's it. We cut 3 hours down to about 26 minutes. If only they could do the same.
I tell you, it'd be a lot more watchable.
All right, wrestling fans, for my partner in crime in Connecticut, Matt and Degnan, don't forget at 10 p.m. tonight, Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Tomorrow night at 10 p.m., very interesting episode of Wrestling Insider's Rush Hour with Leo Rush, where he breaks down his time in independent wrestling, his Ring of Honor tenure, as well as some of his great frustrations at the end of his NXT time when he was released by the company. Thursday night at 10 p.m., it is Marty Jannetty's no-holds-barred sex, drugs, and rock and roll look at the world of professional wrestling as he shares some tales, literally a tale from the road on Jake the Snake Roberts, and he remembers Road Warrior Animal. Then Friday night, 10 p.m., when the Thunderdome goes dim, John Cena's dome lights up on Wrestling Insider Fabulous Fridays. Along with that, we have a 1987 Survivor Series watch-along on Thanksgiving Eve to remember a time when wrestling was more enjoyable and watchable to some. And then Thursday morning, you get to begin your Thanksgiving with some holiday thoughts from Tony Atlas and John Cena Sr. at 10 a.m. I don't know if I could be thankful for much more than that.
Well, I don't know if we're going to do our AEW and NXT.
TBA, I guess.
Tony B. Atlas, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh.
And that's just about that then. All right, well, for Matt Degnan, I'm Dan Mirade. Have a little breather, a refresher, grab yourself a cold beverage or a snack. We'll be back at 10 a.m. with Mr. USA Tony Atlas as he unloads on a man that maybe unloaded a little too much, Alberto Del Rio. Don't miss it at 10 o'clock, folks. We'll see you then. Good night. Wrestling fans, the 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive Cyber Fan Fest explodes into Christmas with interactive cyber autograph signings, live interviews, raffles, merchandise, and more. We were excited to bring you a wrestling event here in Boston, but we have the ability to bring a Cyber Fan Fest to great fans like you around the world. Recent WWE NXT Cruiserweight Champion Leo Rush kicked off the drive with autographed photos and posters still for sale online. Let's run down the list of remaining cyber autograph signings where you can get an autograph photo for yourself or to give to a friend or a loved one this holiday. Mail order for your items is also available. On Survivor Series Sunday, November the 22nd, Marty Jannetty will be with us live for a cyber autograph signing during the Farewell to the Undertaker. You never know what to expect with Marty in studio live. We're back Friday, December the 4th with the veteran former Nation of Domination member Savio Vega, a.k.a. Quang, making a rare appearance in Boston. Things are going to get nasty on Saturday, December the 5th when Brian Knobbs and Jerry Saggs, the Nasty Boys, join us for the very first time. A great chance to get the former WWE and WCW Tag Team Champions signed. Sunday night, December the 6th, WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas returns for a Cyber Christmas party during our NXT Takeover Watch Along. Tony will be signing autographs and will also have his art available for purchase. The following Friday, December the 11th, one of the most powerful superstars in wrestling history, the Warlord, joins us live in studio discussing his WWF run beginning in 1988. Saturday, December the 12th, the superstar undefeated for 2 years in the WWF, Native American Tatanka, will be with us supporting the Toy Drive. Then on Sunday, December the 13th, it's a double feature of future star superstars as recent Ring of Honor Pure Title Tournament competitor Wheeler Yuta joins us in studio for the first time after competing here in Boston Wrestling MWF, along with the man visiting us for the first time in 8 years, the new Impact Wrestling World Champion Rich Swann. And it wouldn't be Christmas without old John Cena Sr. with us live and in person as he's been working the phones on the North Pole. Again, autographs and all-inclusive VIP packages are on sale now at Boston CaptainWrestling.com. Help our tradition of updating Santa's GPS to find every kid's home this year while creating smiles and honoring the late, great Paul Bearer's memory. From our family to yours, happy holidays, Merry Christmas.